Let's do some algebra today. We'll start with lots of terms. In fact, 3 sections, A, B, and C, all of just terms. Look at A. We'll do numbers 2 and 3 together. You see the samples is done. And notice that this is different than what this will be because the exponent 4 applies to both the 8 and the x because they're in parentheses. Whereas here, the 4 only applies to the x. Just, you probably already knew that. What I have to do here is put them all in expanded form. So this in expanded form starts with g. There's no exponent for g, so it's just multiply g one time. Now, both the h and the k are squared. So I'll have 2 h's and 2 k's. That's it. Number 3. Both the 4 and the c are squared, and the 6 and the e are cubed. We have 4 times c times 6 times 6 times 6 times e times e times e. I'm going to organize that. That's an expanded form, but I want to organize it. So 4 times 6 times 6 times 6. We'll do the variables in alphabetical order. C times e times e times e. There, now it's organized. I'd prefer to have these organized. They'll be right if they're not, but it's really better to have them organized, Anyhow, down to B. In B, they're already in expanded form, and we are shortening them with exponents. Number 1, you have CD 3 times. So that will be cubed, because they're exactly the same. And you have 7. 7 gets nothing. It's just all by itself. So we have 7. And then we have CD cubed. On to C. C is different than the others. You're doing 2 different things. First, you're expanding them. And then you're simplifying. See how the first one was expanded? They wrote out all the numbers, 2 times 3 times 7. Then they did all the m's, and then they expanded out the n's. And then they joined them all together. And this was done in order. Where, you know how I did the other one in order? It went straight from here to the correct order. So that's what we'll do. Number 3, we'll just put these together in expanded form in the correct order. So we'll start with all the coefficients. These are the coefficients. We've got -7 times 2 times 4. We got to be careful because this can take up a lot of space. So I'm going to try to write a little bit smaller. Then we have alphabetical order, D times D, and then E cubed and E. So E cubed, E times E times E, and E. Now, I will simplify it. There's 1 negative, so this will be negative. -7 times 2 is -14. -14 times 4. Let me write that out. 14 times 4, 56. So I get -56 d squared e 1, 2, 3 to the 4th. That is your final answer for number 3. You got it? Your final answer for number 3. Number 4, we'll do the same thing. We'll expand it out. We'll do it in order. It'll take less room if we do it in order the first time. And it's also easier to simplify in the end if it's in order. We'll start by writing all the coefficients. We have 3 times 2 times 7. Then we'll do alphabetical order, x times x we've got 1y, then z squared. Now we'll combine everything to simplify. 3 times 2 is 6. 6 times 7 is 42. 42 x squared y z cubed. And that is the simplified form. So we do the same thing with the others. Down to D, we are taking these expressions, numeric expressions, and changing them to variable expressions. We've got to come up with one variable expression that will fit every single one of these, even though they're different. Well, the easiest thing to do is find out what is the same every time. -6 is the same every time. +3. This is what changes. So I'm going to put a variable p. And is this really how we write it? P, actually that would be p minus 6, wouldn't it? That's why you need to put the negatives in parentheses, right? Because that looked like p minus 6, but it's not. It's p times -6. There. P times -6 plus 3. Another way to write this would be -6p plus 3. Make that a coefficient. They're both correct. I would actually typically write it like that, but you could also write it like that. And finally, we are writing algebraic expressions, translating. Write an algebraic expression that could answer each question. If N is Dan's age now. Oh, he's N. I've never been N before. Well, if he's N now, how many years until Dan will be 50? We'll start with 50, and then we'll subtract his age now, and that will tell us how many years left. Numbers 1 and 2 are pretty obvious. Here's 40. Writing expressions with variables, more translations. We're doing lots and lots and lots and lots of translations because that is the whole reason behind algebra. It's to take real life situations, change them to math, and solve them because math makes it easier. So the first thing that you need to do always is to define the variable. And so I went ahead on all of these and I wrote out the variable. M is, Z is, K is, P is. I want you to write out what it is. What is that variable? For number 1, there are 20 people in the room. They are divided into M equal groups. Write the division expression of the number of people in each group. They are divided into M equal groups. So M is number, I'm just going to use this for the number sign instead of writing the whole word. Number of equal groups, or you could just put number of groups. What you want to find out, and I highlighted every one, what is it that you want to find out? I want to find out the number of people in each group. So, take what you know and combine it a certain way to find out the number of people in each group. We'll do 3 together. Piece of wood is 20 feet long. It was cut into K equal pieces to make a track. Write a division expression of the length of each piece of wood. What does K mean? K is number of pieces. Now I need to find out the length of each piece. it's 20 feet long. So it's 20 feet long. I'm going to divide it into k equal pieces, and that will tell me the length of each piece. None of these are going to be solvable. You don't have enough information to solve them. You are simply setting up expressions with variables. I could write it like that, or the preferred way to write it is 20 divided by k. It's much better to write division with the fraction bar than with the division symbol. This is correct, and you can get the right answer. This is just a more efficient way, especially when you get long expressions. Number 2, what does Z stand for? The number of flowers Sam has is Z times more than what Ashley has. All right, and then P. Mary has P handbags. Well, that sets it right there. You got to know what P stands for in that one. That makes it really obvious. All right,